scrape it up, and then if you want, you can make it up. Take it up, drop it back down so you shake it up. Scrape it up, and then if you want, you can make it up. Take it up, drop it back down so you shake it up. I'm always first, that's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm gonna pop it till I drop, cause I ain't dropping Miss Daisy. I'm always first, that's crazy. My future never been hazy. I got a boast, I move like a ghost. Give them that Patrick Swayze's. All of them lost, they knew the cost. I chase them down, I'm the boss. Up in the circle, hitting that purple. If that don't work, maybe a purple. Madison High, that is the spot where I get paid every raise. Sign on my checks with a big X, then get up out of my space. I'm always first, that's crazy. My future never been hazy. All of my shit, always legit, it's just what my mama gave me. I'm always first, that's crazy. My future never been hazy. Call it a win, once I begin, I'ma do it for my baby. Running back, watch out cause I'm on the attack. Passing by, it's easy, I'm not gonna lie. Running back, watch out cause I'm on the attack. Passing by, it's easy, I'm not gonna lie. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I am the one, hot like the sun, winning the races that pay me. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. Hitting the throttle, popping the bottle, pour it on top of like gravy. It's never a cap, winning the snap, and no one got nothing to say. I'm in every place, taking every race, nobody can get in my way. Tapping the brake, first to the take, I never knew how to die. Give all the rest, all of my best, all of it takes running dry. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. You think you know how this will go, don't be so goddamn hasty. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'll see you there, blood in the air, victory's gonna be tasty. Crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy. I'm always first, it's crazy. My future never been hazy.
It's time for a duel in the desert. Here we are at the illustrious Phoenix Raceway for the next round of the FMA Cup Series. After the good, the bad, and the ugly of Chicagoland last week, we're going to see if we can put in a little less yellow-filled race here. I'm James Watson, joined with my broadcast partners, Matt Nelson and Kobe Jordan. Matt, what are you looking forward to for tonight on this one?
Well, Phoenix is an iconic track, James, and I don't think we're going to get anything less here, as we see the 33 there. But Phoenix, it's typically, you know, prestigious. It's a high-stakes track because it is going to be the very end of the NASCAR calendar if we were to compare it to, you know, the in real life series. But here we are on the sim, and we are doing some league racing here on a Sunday night, but it feels iconic, it feels prestigious, it feels high stakes here, James.
Absolutely. We're just about through with qualifying. Meantime, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our championship points so far. Your point leader is Cody Brewer with Nigel Steele in second, James Ifa in third, Austin Smith and Tommy Thompson rounding out the top five, William Gay Tiffany Ellis, Zach Tankersley, and Ryan Peters rounding out the top 10. And then we're going to look at our team championship points. Okay, we are not going to show team points yet this time around, so we're just going to go straight into the starting grid. Your pole sitter, the 05 of Brock Morris next to the 9 of Dylan Jacobs, a reversal of where they finished last week at Chicagoland. Row 2 is going to be the number 2 of Zach Tankersley and the 34 of Matt Mars. Travis Roberto in the 028 next to Ryan Peters in the 5 on row 3. Row 4 has the 22 of Cody Brewer and the 75 of William Gay. Paul Wentline in the 3 and the 87 to Tiffany Ellis round out the top 10. Chase Matsuko in the 26 next to Jacob Brown in the 13 on row 6. Row 7 features the 65 of Tommy Thompson and the 033 of Austin Smith. The 93 of Kelly Akron and the 37 of Bobby Watts on row 8. Row 9 features the 444 of Brayton Jones and the 888 of James White. 68 of Evan Guillemette next to the 12 of Mark Osier. We have the 317 of Jay Davis and the 30 of Robert Howard on row 11. Row 12 features the 28 of George Buck and the 8 of Nigel Steele. Rounding out the field is the 88 of James Efa. And we are just in time to see them pulling off of the grid. It's going to be a quick pace lap. We're going to be basically going right at it almost immediately here. In fact, the pace car is only going to be on the track for about a quarter of a lap, which always kind of cracks me up here, Mac.
Yeah, it seems like the iRacing Fisher Pace truck not really doing a whole lot of pacing. It's like, what are we paying you for? But yeah, look at him just diving off into the safety of the pit lane quick.
And that's going to give the control of the race to Brock Morris, trying to go one better than he did a week ago. This pace car already made the hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Morris is going to lead us to the green flag. Green means going. We are underway in the desert. You see already Morris diving right on down to the apron, taking that dog leg. Oh, pretty reckon the 37 around.
Oh no, yeah, he's barely able to see that in the back of the camera there, just off in the peripheral. And yeah, I mean, that's something you hate to see. That's the 37 Popeyes, man. I love that chicken from Popeyes, but, hate to see him around like that.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Great chicken, bad start to the race. See, there's a checkup here as we're coming to the green flag. Everyone seems all right for now, but then another checkup, and then Osier right behind, just not able to check up in time. And round goes 37. Doesn't seem like it was that big of a hit, Mac. He shouldn't, hopefully for his sake, he shouldn't be on pit road for too long.
Yeah, I agree, and luckily these cars are a little stronger than you think. I think the Gen 6s kind of got the reputation in iRacing for being the tanks, so when we came to next gen, everybody said, oh, well, these cars feel like paper mache, they feel like cardboard, but at the end of the day, yeah, they aren't as tanky as the Class 6. They're not gonna, like I said, be tanks, but for being a race car, they can take a beating, man. I mean, it's no surprise. The rubbing is racing. We do have some side-by-side door-banging action here in the NASCAR world, so it's good to see that these cars can take it.
Absolutely, and something interesting, Matt Mars did not take the grid. He's on track now on the lead lap, but he's 23rd, which is rough considering that he put it in P4 on the starting grid.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, James, as I like the ambient light there. I'm not entirely sure who that is. Maybe it's Morris. I'm not entirely sure, but hey, that is some nice ambient lighting there.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the lighting is there for.
Yellow for caution.
Oh, that makes sense. God, that
if we keep it up on screen, I bet it's gonna flash green as soon as the green flag drops. I mean, I always love seeing the immersive sim rig setups that include the ambient lighting. I think that's a really cool thing that luckily with technology and where technology's gone nowadays, we can actually do that in the sim pretty easily using SimHub and all that stuff. So I'm a big fan. Any setup that includes ambient lighting, I love it.
Absolutely. But it's already time to get back at it. See the pace truck making the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. And Brock Morris will once again lead us back to the restart zone here. And green means go. We're back underway at Phoenix.
Yeah, what a good start by the leader, man. The 05 of Morris there. Fantastic job using that leader's advantage to get out and away as fast as possible.
Absolutely, and that's so huge because you can get away from all the chaos that comes from everyone taking that dog leg. Now, I don't think you use it nearly as much in the next gen. From what I've always been told, it kind of messes up the diffuser and damages the car a little bit. Although I say that, and about near the entirety of the top 5 drop down. Oh, here comes Jacobs with a big run, almost out of nowhere. Oh, he's gonna get
the number 9. Oh, that's chaos.
65.
Yeah, that is chaos and calamity coming out of turn number 4 there.
Oh, and a meatball. Last week's race winner does not look like he's gonna go back-to-back here. That he almost had it all right, but then blam.
Yeah, just that little contact from the driver using that middle line, and that is what actually knocked him down towards the bottom, collected that other driver. That's just, I mean, like I said, calamity. I mean, that is just a domino effect of unlucky situations for a lot of drivers there.
Yeah, I don't know. What would you, if you were race control, and what would you give as your ruling on that? Because that one looked kind of hard to call either way. It looked like a racing deal to me, but
yeah, I think it's very, very difficult. I mean, we're very, very close to, where we got the green flag. I think we were only 1 lap in, maybe not even completed a lap. If so, we completed 1. But yeah, I think it's just tricky, especially in the early run. These tires, they're not warmed up yet. The car, it still feels kind of like a boat because of the full fuel cell, and it's hard to put the car exactly where you want on the track here when you're talking about really early on in the run. So yeah, I think deem that as a race incident, move on, maybe stress a little bit of caution towards the drivers. I mean, we're 8 laps in, we've already been under yellow twice, and this is my first week here. But from what I've heard rumblings, I've heard murmurs that last week at Chicagoland was not a pretty sight to see. So I'm hoping that for my debut week here, I'm hoping these guys can keep it a little more green-filled here at Phoenix.
Yeah, I will say it's probably a bit too aggressive from both parties here at this point in the race, because there wasn't a whole lot of room for Jacobs to try to get in there. There was barely enough car width, and then Morris, of course, certainly didn't give him any extra room on top of that. So I think both of them were just being pretty aggressive, and it would make sense to see that on lap 98, maybe not necessarily on lap 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there, James, as these drivers are gonna get set, gonna get ready to go. Yeah, I don't know. You're the guy. Yeah, you're the main man here. You've seen it. I haven't, but yeah, just so far, I think just a little bit of carelessness from these drivers, and we'll see if they can, reel it in, lock it in, and give us some really good action here.
Absolutely. As the pace truck already made the left-hand turn on a pit road, Morris is going to once again lead us to the restart zone. Green means go. We're back underway in the desert. And you see a huge advantage for Morris, almost in a different zip code.
Yeah, big advantage for him, and a big advantage for currently P6 and the number 22 Camaro of Brewer. Not sure on the first name, so I apologize about that, but what an incredible start he got coming out in a way.
Yeah, and you see Travis Roberto able to jump into P2, getting by Tankersley as they got down into turn 1. We're going to be flirting with 3 wide here, going through the dog leg. Back down to 2 wide. See a big run from Tankersley in the center of the corner. Boy, that 2 car got real big in the rear camera of that 028 that we were on board with. My goodness.
Yeah, I agree. What a run, man. And look, he's taped it on the inside now, and he's going to try 28, barely staying out of the wall.
Yeah, that car did not stick down on the inside for Roberto there. Now he's got to worry about William Gaze on the inside, and Gaze going to get that pass done easily. And here comes the fly. Oh, a little bit of contact. Roberto able to hang on to it, though. That checks up Peters just a little bit. Now he's got to worry about Brewer on the outside. Cody Brewer hasn't really made up any ground. Started 7th, running in 7th. In fact, lost a spot down to 8th. This Evan Goulmet, he is the biggest mover so far. He is up to P6 after starting 19th. Heck of a run so far for the 68 there, Mac.
Yeah, and considering the amount of green that we've actually had, that means he's had to make that work all within probably 4 completed laps. So I agree with you. What a run from the kid.
Absolutely, and here he is. He's up into P5. Trying to get P4 off of Peters.
Yeah, making that Mustang stick right now, James, doing a very good job of keeping it in tow there as we look at the number 22 there as well. You see him just a little further behind. The tires are really wanting to grip here, but we are in Phoenix. I'm sure it's pretty warm out there. The track's pretty toasty. That's not going to last long, James.
Yeah, oh no, we got one going around. It's Roberto.
Oh,
Problems
no.
for Travis Roberto, and that's the 3rd caution. Not sure what happened to him. Trying to scan to see if there's any damage there on that 028.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of taking a look at too.
See, it kind of looks like contact there from, I think, the 13.
Yeah, I think the only thing damaged there is going to be the tires.
Well, I don't know. It actually kind of looks like the nose of that Mustang might be center punched a little bit.
Yeah, that very good chance, actually.
Yeah, it just looks like the 13 had a pretty good run in the center of the corner and just couldn't really check up in time for Roberto. around Travis goes. See, not sure if anyone has been on pit road yet. I think Chase Matsuko has brought it down. In fact, I think he's brought it down in all of the caution periods right now, trying to top off with as much fuel as he can.
Yeah, and I think pit strategy, James, if we stay yellow here, is probably going to be a really big factor in tonight's race. I mean, it seems that most of the time when you have these situations where you have a lot of yellows inside of an asphalt oval race, it kind of comes down to you pit at what you think is going to be the last caution. Now, obviously, nobody knows the future, and most of the time, the last caution is indeed not even the last caution, not even second to last caution, or third to last. Chaos does breed chaos in this simulator, so for these drivers, they might think it's a bit of a strategy here, going for fuel, tires, whatnot, based on caution count, but at the end of the day, it is truly random, and I think those situations are what breed some of the more cool race results where, you know, maybe it's last lap, 2 laps, 3 laps to go, and there's a driver who we don't normally see in the top 3 or top 5. They're having to fight for their life because they kind of got gifted good position because of the randomness of the cautions.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw last week. Jacobs stayed out in the basically the first 40 laps with all the cautions we had, and then was able to get the lead, flip the track position on the pit stops, and then hold Brock Morris off with the fresher tires, kind of similar to what we saw in today's real-life race. But you see the pace truck make the hard left-hand turn onto pit road, and we're back underway at Phoenix. Another good jump from Morris here.
Yeah, and a little bit of sleep going on in the mid-pack there, especially on the outside line.
And you see all kinds of chaos on this restart already, like we've come to expect from Phoenix. Got 3 wide a little further back, down to 2 wide with Steely, OCA, and Ellis.
Ooh, a little bit of loosey-goosey there for the number 5.
Yeah, he holds on to it, but you see up towards the front, Tankersley is all over the back of Morris. Seems like a much better start to the run this time around for the 2-car, Mac.
Yeah, I agree, and doing a good job of trying to work up on the 0-5. Now, Morris has been extremely solid through our 21 laps here. Now, we have had 3 cautions, so I will say, bear in mind, things might go a little south here, but for the green flag laps that he has been running.
37 and the 93 in the wall. And no caution.
And, all right, and we've got a car moving backwards in the wrong direction. We're going to keep it green. Hey, shout out. Let's go racing, boys. Come on, the gloves are off. Let's get rowdy, James.
That they are. See Akron already on to pit road to fix all that damage, and I'm sure the 37 is as well.
Yes, that's going to throw a big fork in the plans for those guys' strategy.
No kidding. Wow, we got side by side through the dogleg Wentline. Oh, and almost 3 wide with Wentline, Roberto, and the 50 car. Single filed out now. Man, that got hairy going through the dogleg, and whoa, near contact between the 3 and the 12. And oh, here comes Roberto out of nowhere. What a move by Travis.
Yeah, like he shot out of a rocket.
That he did. I think he even might have muscled the 3 out of the way. I think there was a little bit of boop on the nose of that 3 car. Oh boy.
Yeah, things are getting chippy, and we're only a quarter of the way through this race, James. I cannot wait to see the audacity and, you know, just the debauchery that might go on here, say, lap 60, 70.
Absolutely. While Matt Mars has recovered up to 14th from his pit lane start. A lot of big movers. Nigel Steele up high in the points. He started 23rd. He's in the top 10. Talked about Gumet running in 4th place after starting outside the top 15. So a lot of people taking advantage of all this chaos here in the early going.
Yeah, and I think that's the best thing you can do. You don't want to sit around and wait for the opportunity to pass you by. You need to take every single chance you can, and I think if you're someone who's just getting into the iRacing official service, if you're new to sim racing and you find yourself almost getting bullied out on track, then, you know, it's just all about the confidence. It's all about you have got to take every single opportunity, because if you don't, there's X amount of guys behind you that will indeed take that opportunity. So you cannot sleep, you cannot rest, and you cannot have a bad amount of patience. I will say patience is a very good thing in sim racing, James, but too much of it can be really bad.
Wow, what a save. Contact between the 13 and the 22. Brown having to wheel it to hold on to it. Not sure what happened between those two. But a big send that almost got sent over the edge.
Yeah, big props to those guys, man. That was a lot of contact, and these next-gen cars are known to just kind of be squirmy and go wherever they want after big side-to-side contact like that. So good on the drivers to be able to wrangle that down and get the car set back in the right direction.
Absolutely, and we've seen these next-gen cars are absolutely not easy to save. Anyone that was watching last week's broadcast and also watching this Wednesday's broadcast on Racer Nexus knows I sure do love to bring up the next-gen death wobble. Thankfully, haven't seen it today yet. Hopefully, knock on wood.
Hey man, it's Phoenix. Anything can happen here, especially when you bring that dog leg into the equation. It kind of just throws normal racing etiquette out the window. Everyone just kind of picks their line and does it no matter what. As we see right there, the right side of your screen, those drivers, I mean, that is nerve-wracking.
Absolutely, because, you know, the dog leg isn't flat. You're kind of having to drop down into it. And, you know, you really don't think about it if you're in a truck or an O'Reilly car, but knowing how temperamental this next-gen car is, you're never entirely sure you're gonna survive the trip down. So you're always having to do it bated breath. See, things getting close between the 34 and the 3 there. A little bit of lockup from Mars. Spooking went line a bit.
Yeah, so we also have a big battle heating up here, the 12, and I think that's the 87. 87 of Ellis there. The Menards 12, man. That's iconic, James, isn't it?
That it is. You see a big run for the 87 around the outside. Ellis is going to get the spot done on OCA. Now here comes Wentline trying to throw his hat into this battle. Would you say he's throwing his cowboy hat into the battle since we're here in the Wild West?
Well, funny you say that, but I was thinking throwing a cowboy hat because he's got the 3 Wrangler. Both things make sense. I mean, it just, see, that's what happens. When a good joke's an actual good joke, there's many ways that it leads there. And we just found 2 roads that lead to the same joke. So, in my opinion, man, we'll be here all week. Start giving us your money. Come on.
Bold of you to call that a good joke. Oh, and we're back under caution. Not sure where it's at. Oh, and that's the 28 of, I believe, George Buck. Round, yep, that's the regular 28. Issues for Buck. He's gonna get the wall off of 4. And then, oh, contact. Quite sure who that, I think that might have been the 888 with James White getting into Buck and knocking him around.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then the 888 of White being 6 laps down, that's not going to bode very well for his drivability.
Yeah. But we see everyone bringing it down pit road. We're gonna go ahead and take our first opportunity to get a break in, so we'll be back shortly.
There might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping.
Alrighty, we are back and already ready to get back at it. See, pit stops and pit strategies rearing its ugly head as the 5 of Ryan Peters is now your race leader. He's bringing us to the restart zone. Great means go. We're back on our way at Phoenix. 2 more cars stayed out. We're going to see what the Morris and those that pitted can do. See Morris already battling for P2. Oh, big sideways for Tankersley. He got a bump from the back, and what a save by Zach to hold on to it.
That was incredible. Oh my goodness, the wherewithal to actually be able to save that.
Oh man, I thought for sure we were getting another one. A fantastic job of driving from Uncle Tankas. Oh no, now we're getting the caution, the 50 around Robert Howard. Thankfully, no one else involved. Whoa! Oh no! And insult to injury. Oh! No!
Oh! That is racing 101 on the no-no list.
Man, that is unlucky.
Yeah, just driving it in a little too hard, trying to get the momentum coming around. Catch the pace car. I thought he was going to do it again, James. By no means am I rooting for the man's downfall here, but I really thought he was going to stomp on that throttle after he took the corner wide, and I thought he was going to do it again.
Yeah, you see that 50 car just does not seem happy. Wonder how much damage he has now from that little meeting with the 37.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Cody Brewer going to be into the pits. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe one of the cars that had stayed out for the previous yellow, potentially.
Yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, I thought I saw that 22 coming down.
Yeah. You see Ellis also down as well. So, very curious. We don't have the fuel numbers offhand with us. So the only thing that you can maybe wonder is this could be a fuel strategy play. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. However, they're going to have to be running close to full fuel capacity to be able to make it 55 laps here at Phoenix, right? I mean, it has been a few years since I have been, it's deep dove into the oval part of the service, but 55 laps at Phoenix on a full tank of gas doesn't really seem doable unless you're dealing with like a full capacity fuel cell here.
I want to say they were getting around 40 laps a tank last week at Chicagoland, so I don't think 60 laps or so at Phoenix is out of the question. So
that is fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. We'll have to see. This is, like I said, I am kind of exposing myself. I should have done my homework more. I knew I was going to be hopping on the show, so I do apologize for that. Did a little disservice here, but hey, for the first week, we've seen some really cool racing here, especially from these top guys like Ryan Peters, like Morris, like Mars as well, who, wow, into the podium. I haven't even noticed he's P3.
Yeah, if you look at it, you're like, oh, well, he's P3 after starting P4. That's not really that crazy, but if you know it's taken a lot for Matt Mars to get back to this point. You see the pace truck already off. Ryan Peters is going to lead us back to the restart zone. And green means go. We're back underway in Phoenix.
Great jump from the leader. Again, leaders have been killing it all night on their starting jumps.
That they have, but Morris also got himself a fantastic jump. Oh, we're 3 wide. Oh, we got 1 sideways, 2 sideways. The 13 stays in the 3, not quite as much. Oh, no, with the 22 coming back up the track. Oh, man. Somehow we stay green. Somehow no car actually ended up going around, but wow, that's a lot to break down right there. As you see, Brock Morris, while all that was going on, he's able to get back to the lead on his fresh tires.
Look at that 3 wide for P3.
Yeah, the old tires is not doing Ryan Peters any favors right now. He is hemorrhaging positions. Mars pass, Gilmet pass, Gay, and here comes Tankersley as well.
Yeah, 75 of Gay, after having a pretty quiet first, almost half of the race, has managed to bring his way up into P3 now. Oh, look at the moves around the outside.
Yeah, see the 68 able to get the spot on Mars. Mars going way high, almost into the wall. That's going to cost him a lot of spots, all the way down to 5th and potentially 6th. As here comes Nigel Steely. We're 3 wide right behind. My goodness. Travis Roberto coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, like a slingshot there. Roberto down on the inside. That was amazing. Wow, what a run. You rarely see runs that well coming out of the corner, and he's about to do it again.
Yeah, almost getting a speed boost through the front straightaway. Oh, he's in the big contact with the 8. Knocks him up into the wall. Seeley going to hang on to it. Oh, and now he gets a bump from the 5 for good measure. Nigel Seeley not happy about it, and rightfully so.
Yeah, these guys are ruthless out here in the desert.
Yeah, Dare I say, with some of the moves Travis Roberto has been making on this run, dare I say we might get some Miley Cyrus going in the background. It came in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah, I like that reference. Or, like maybe the mid-2010s when you did something bad on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. You had Mark Henry you had to fight. And you knew something bad was going to happen if you heard Mark Henry's music drop. So, I mean, that's kind of what it feels like seeing him come into these corners.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, things have actually kind of settled down for now. So we're on board with the 88 of James Efaw. Back on your race leader now. Morris has about 3/4 of a second over Dumet. See a battle between Smith and Mars. Oh, big move from Mark Ossian. Maybe looking to the inside. He backs out of it. And now he's going to have to worry about Chase Mizuko on the outside.
Down on the inside, using the classic math, least distance traveled, and yeah, that 12 Menards has, or the Menards 12, I said that kind of backwards, has gotten into a very advantageous position here against both the 26 and the 34, but for some reason cannot keep up on the straights.
Yeah, and it looks like he backed off really early into turn 3, and that costs him a lot of speed. Like, I know you kind of want to drive turn 3 in that batch. Oh, man, as there's almost contact between Ossier and Mars. And now we're going to be 3 wide off of 2 as here comes Matsuko with the run on the high side. Matsuko looks like he's going to get the pass done on Mars. But yeah, I know you want to kind of ease it on into the entry at turn 3, but you wonder if Mark's just maybe taking it a little too easy there.
Yeah, it's tough to say, and to be fair, he's running pretty well, but I just feel like he's done nothing but move backwards in this green flag run. And early on in the race, we saw him, James, he was up there where the angels sing. I mean, he was right next to the wall, and that's really where he was gaining position. He had a whole lot of momentum when we started this race. I'm not really sure why the line change. It seems like it's doing nothing but actually hurting him.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on. And, that's especially consistent of what we know about Phoenix, where that higher line tends to be where you want to run. Although that time, Efaw going way too high, lost him the spot to Ossier, and now he's got Nigel Steely to the inside. Steely trying to recover after his little get-together with Travis Roberto that he is still probably not happy with.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That one seemed to be a little unnecessary, a little bit of an avoidable accident. We hate to see those kind of leak through in the league racing scene here. And now we see on board, and wow, these cars, very, very high speed for how small the track actually is. And these guys got to be very, very precise if they want to put their car in the correct spot to make the corner correctly, because Phoenix is a track that the car can get out of your hands. It can wash up the track very, very easily.
Absolutely, and it's also can get tough to deal with on corner exit, especially exit at turn 2 here, as we see side by side Roberto and Gay. Travis Roberto with the run around the outside of the 75. He had him clear for a second, but here comes Gay trying to have the comeback. Side by side into the corner, little bit of a squeeze maybe from Roberto. Oh, there's hardly any space between these two.
Yeah, these guys are racing very, very closely. I don't think they touched on that last corner either. I think they stayed completely clear of each other.
Oh, yeah, Roberto definitely touched the wall right there, and he's still going to get the pass done anyways.
Yeah, a little bit of that wall tabbing method. We see it in the dirt oval side of things here. It's a big plague in the iRacing community right now. But hey, we saw the 28 doing a little bit of that action.
Calculated. Now he is starting to drive away from the 75. There is a lot of speed in that 028, even with his spin and the stuff he's been involved with tonight.
Yeah, I agree, and I just looked up at the timing tower. We're already here, lap number 61. We're kind of starting to enter that phase, James, of these guys. You kind of got to go. It's time to get nested in the spot where you want to be when the checkered flag comes out.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, James Efaw kind of made a hard bit of contact with the turn 2 wall. That's going to lose him another spot. So 88 start to drop here. Meanwhile, you see William Gay. He hasn't given up. He's still keeping the 028 in sight. They're trying to.
All right, job.
Oh. Whoa! Contact between the 3 and the 444. Oh! Hang on to it, Jones, and he will.
Oh, very good on them. Wow, things are popping off at every single corner right now, James.
Yeah, heck of a save by Brayton Jones to hold on to that. That could have been bad, especially when that 444 snapped back the other way.
Yeah, I do agree. Broughton Jones, very good as... sorry, I hate to interrupt you there, James, but I do want to say Broughton Jones, he was in a league that I called when I very first got to Racer Nexus. I can't remember what league it was, but it was a road racing league, and he was very good, showed amazing sportsmanship, showed amazing defensive driving as well. So I'm glad to see it hasn't really been his night here so far, but I think he's doing a very good job of holding his own here.
Absolutely, and he's already asked a few questions. He's talked a couple times over the radio chat that he is new to this, but he's trying to do everything he can to learn and doing a great job doing so, and kind of a trial by fire, having to figure out how to save the next gen car right there.
Yeah, I agree. It's not too easy.
Meanwhile, up towards the front, the 68 is starting to drop. He was about just a couple tenths behind Tankersley and had himself a second over Roberto and Gay, and all of a sudden they have run him down.
Yeah, fantastic job by them, and I'm just fascinated by how they're taking this corner. So much speed that you think there's no way they don't wash up into that blue catch fence, and they just are not doing it. You don't notice it as much in this corner here, but going into turns 1 and 2, they're taking that very, very high speed.
That they are, and it's always incredible to see, especially, you know, Phoenix being a flat track, no bank, not a whole lot of banking, so not a whole lot of grip because of it, as well as the desert heat. Now, it's not that hot compared to what you would expect. It's only about 103 degree track temp, so for Arizona standards, that is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think it, if I'm not mistaken, I think 134 is what it was during the championship race. I can't remember. Whoa. I can't remember what year, but 134 degree track temperature. Anywhere you go, that's hot.
Frying egg on that track. Oh, that sounds very unpleasant. While we're on board with some of the action here in the middle of the field. Mars battling, I believe, think going around a lap car of George Buck. It's about second or so behind the 8 of Nigel Steely. Oh! Well, Buck gets the wall a little bit. There goes OCA and Ellis around.
That race car's not going to like getting into that wall, James, and you do it enough times. I know I said it was not as fragile as it looks, but if you beat the wall down enough times, you're going to have a little bit of damage. So he's got to make sure he's kind of reels that in and stops hitting the wall.
Yeah, this car can take a big hit, but it's also made of paper mache. Like, it's really weird, you know. And the great example of that is, you know, Chris Bell in today's race. Slight brush to the wall, broke the toe link. Later on in the race, absolutely smacks it, no broken toe link. So you really just can't understand and predict what hit is going to cause what damage. So, you know, with the composite bodies, you can hit the wall pretty hard and have it be okay, but with how fragile the toe link is, if you hit it just the way where the toe link is, that right rear tire is kind of exposed, then your day is going to be pretty much over. It's just kind of luck of the draw at that point. Yeah. Oh, we got a car going around. Oh, and I think it's Roberto.
Oh no, the 12 getting hit as well there.
Yeah, and I think someone else got spun too. Yeah, that is definitely the 028 of Travis Roberto. Our 4th place runner going around for the 2nd time today.
Just cannot catch a break.
See, the 75 of William Gay. Big run through the center. Contact sends the 28 around and clipped. I think that might have been the 22 of Cody Brewer that got clipped.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate. I mean, And to be fair, I'm surprised we haven't seen a little more of that in this race. Once you throw the dog leg into the equation, it gets very tricky to know what a driver's going to do if they're on the bottom of that racing surface. You know, are they going to go down into the dog leg? Are they going to stay on the normal, you know, confines of the normal racetrack? And especially me, when I'm on the simulator, when I race here, it's very frustrating. It's very nerve-wracking trying to figure out, you know, what drivers do take the dog leg, what drivers don't, and a lot of times it just turns into absolute chaos.
Absolutely, and man, with that's another one of those ones where I'm glad I'm not in race control, because yeah, I don't know what I would call on that one. I feel like it's pretty similar a bit to what we saw early on in the race with Morris and Jacobs.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a little knuckleheaded of the drivers, of the gentlemen, but at the end of the day, sorry, bad reaction there. At the end of the day, it's kind of a racing incident by definition.
Yeah, because the Gay had a huge run through the center of the corner. I don't know if Roberto saw it and was trying to cut it off, or was just caught completely surprised. But yeah, result of it is they both met in the middle, and around goes Roberto. But here we go. The pace truck already made the left-hand turn onto pit road. William Gay is going to lead us to the restart zone. Greamy's going. We're back underway at Phoenix. You see Morris already with the fresh tires. Oh, and we're back under yellow immediately. We didn't even get back into turn 1 again. That's 34, no. Matt Mars.
Yeah, Matt Mars going around. That's not good.
Like some potential. Oh.
Just a little bit of a self-spin there.
Yeah.
You can't park there.
No, you can't. Yeah. Just looked like the transition down onto the flat upset the next gen independent rear suspension, and around Matt Mars goes.
You know, technically speaking, and this is a very loose technicality, but technically that should count as a death wobble.
You know, I can't say I'm gonna argue that one.
The patented death wobble, it strikes. It struck us. It's a you thing, James, I think. It might just be a you thing. You might just carry the curse.
Yeah, I'm used to carrying curses. Anyways, now that we have a little bit of time here, what is your opinion of new Phoenix compared to the older scan and the older configuration that we have on iRacing?
To be honest, it's been so long since I've actually been on the older Phoenix. I do believe that the very first week I got my iRacing subscription back in 2019, I believe it might have still been the old Phoenix at that time. And I do remember I used to always run fog races. I would host races in the free IndyCar, whatever it was at the time, and I would do fog races at Phoenix because I thought it was so funny that there would just be fog at a desert track. And so, for some reason, I just felt the need to tell that story, because when I think back on oval racing, when I first got iRacing, all I can think about are those fog races at Phoenix and just how much fun I had and just how much, you know, just passion it gave me for, you know, sim racing. It helped me fall in love with it.
Man, I would have loved to have seen how that actually looked. But now we are about ready to get back going. Morris brings us back to the restart zone. Greamy's go. We're back underway at Phoenix. Brock Morris, another huge jump. Tankersley able to... Oh, we got cars spinning around. It's the 22 of Brewer, and he's going to tilt for the yellow. Oh, no, we're going to have another incident. Around goes Roberto and Whitline. Oh, no, this is going to be a big one. The 34 round, the 88.
Oh, no. Yeah, that is a big one. Probably 6, possibly 7 cars. Almost annihilated in that one.
Yeah, we thought we were going to get away with it with Cody Brewer going, but the caution was bound and determined to come out this time. See on board with the 3 and Paul Wendline. And, man, almost a carbon copy of the incident between Roberto and William Gay. Just... You know, we see this a lot when there's any sort of a wreck here on the front/back straightaway, depending on which version of Phoenix you're racing at. But once something happens right here, you literally have no room to avoid it.
Yeah, I agree, and I also think it's very, very coincidental and totally not a commentator curse that I said... And I quote, I'm surprised we haven't seen more of that when we saw it earlier in the night. So That one is totally not on me. I will not be held liable for this, but in all seriousness, we're going to have just under 15 laps to go when we go back green here, and it begs the question, what are these drivers going to do? I mean, it seems like they have already been so defensive, or not defensive, I should say. They've been very aggressive, elbows out. They have been just genuinely racing each other's hearts out, and I'm just almost concerned at what these drivers are actually going to do once we start getting closer to that lap number 100.
Yeah, we're already, I believe we're probably going to be about 15 to go when we go back green. So that's already a minuscule amount of time, with especially how fast we've seen the green flag laps go. So it's business is gonna be picking up here. Just saying a lot, because business has already been picked up tonight.
Booming. Yeah, business has been booming here in the desert, and I agree. I think these laps are going to go by extremely fast, and I think drivers are going to start to realize that once we get, say, lap 91, 92, and then I think it's going to be a full-on panic fest. And we're going to start seeing drivers really drive the cars in deep here.
Yeah, you think back to some of the most chaotic restarts we've seen here at New Phoenix real life. Boy, howdy, we're probably going to be seeing something similar. See, the pace truck has made the hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Brock Morris leads us back to the restart zone. Green means go. We're back underway in Phoenix.
Yeah, listen to those roars of the next gen, man.
See, that was probably the best restart that Tankersley has gotten as the non-control. Oh, and we're wrecking again. 28 of George Buck facing the wrong way.
Yeah, and it just seems like George Buck, he's been caught, he's been collected many times here tonight. You gotta wonder, when will it end?
Yeah, it's been kind of an unfortunate night for both the 28 and the 028. Looked like he might have carried a little too much speed and just got right into the 87 and put both cars in the wall.
Yeah, remember that panic fest I talked about? Yeah, that was it. Driving into that corner, a good probably 15, 20 miles an hour faster than he should. That car was never going to make the corner. And
nope.
Yeah, that's classic wash-up, classic understeer.
And, you've got to be pretty bummed if you're Zach Tankersley. That was a heck of a restart, and it seemed like he might have been able to mount some sort of attack on the 05 until that caution came out.
Yeah, I agree. I hate to see a good plan ruined, and it seemed that, like you said, Tankersley had the idea there, had the run going, caution comes out. Now is where the mind games start, though, James. It seems that Tankersley now has to task himself with figuring out what is Morris going to expect out of him, and ultimately, how is he going to kind of think around that and get around him?
Yeah, and that's frustrating. It's frustrating if you're the race leader, Brock Morris, because there's only so much you can do. There's only so many different things you can try to kind of keep the upper hand with so many consecutive restarts with the same guys around you. So it's nerve-wracking if you're Morris, because you start to wonder if that's gonna run out at some point, and Tankersley might get that perfect restart he needs, that perfect guess where he figures out exactly what Morris is going to do.
Yeah, I agree. And if I'm Brock Morris, I'm holding them up until the final possible second here. I am making them wait. I am going to make them account for their actions. I'm going to make them plan everything out in their head. And then I'm just going to throw a big curveball and make them sit until the very end of the restart zone.
We'll see. We'll see if that's what Morris does, and we'll see if that's what works. Pace truck has once again made the left-hand turn onto pit road. And once again, Brock Morris will lead us back to the restart zone here with 11 to go. Green means go. We're back underway at Phoenix, and another great restart from Tankersley. Oh, we got the 68 fitting into the inside wall. He's going to hold on to it, but that is a nightmare for Coymet. He's just lost third place. Oh my goodness, heartbreaking for our biggest mover. Oh, we got a car hard into the inside wall off of 2. Not sure who that is. I think that might be 30. Yeah, the 033 of Austin Smith. Oh, he was having a great run too. Nightmare
yeah, it just
restart.
seemed like the lights were too bright. Yeah, basically nightmare fuel for for the 8, or not the 8. I apologize. Gilmet. Gosh, I could not think of the name. Gilmet. Yeah, worked so hard to get up to P3, and then just lost it all in one corner. That's got to be heart-wrenching.
Absolutely, but now the new biggest mover is Nigel Steele, who is up to P4 right now, trying to hold off Ryan Peters. See OCA and Jacob Brown doing battle here for the 6th position. Well, up towards the front, Tankersley, he got the restart he needed, but it doesn't look like he's able to do anything with it. Morris is starting to walk way up to 6/10, now 7/10 of a lead for the 05.
Yeah, things are starting to shake out though, James. Things are starting to kind of settle. This isn't what I expected. These drivers are almost just kind of taking it. They're not really advancing. They're kind of just stretching out.
Yeah, and a lot of single file right now, which is another far cry of what we were expecting. Is we're going to be coming to... Oh no, wet line! Hard into the inside wall! He keeps it going. Just another big moment off of turn 2 for the 3. Having to use the inside wall to save it, and smack. Unfortunate for the 3 car. He's bringing it in. Meanwhile, 5 laps to go for Brock Morris. A 1 second advantage for the race leader. Now Tankersley has to worry about Matsuko right behind him.
Yeah, and Brock Morris in the 05. They're doing something you don't really see a whole lot of, James. A lot of these times the leaders, they'll kind of lose their sense of composure once we get down to the nitty-gritty, especially when it's riddled with cautions like it has been. But Morris, totally not in that pool. He got out to a 1 second lead quick, and that is exactly what he's holding.
Cool as a cucumber in the desert sun is the 05 of Brock Morris. 3 laps to go. You see, it is amazing that Bobby Watts is knocking on the door of the top 10. This has been an up and down day for that Popeyes machine. But a fantastic recovery despite ending up facing the wrong way in the wall, I think, a couple times tonight.
Yeah, I agree. It's been nothing short of...
Oh no, we got a caution! Oh, and the 444 and the 028 of Travis Roberto.
Oh no, Broughton Jones, that's not how he wants to end his night. That is for sure.
Man, you see, you know, if I didn't know any better, I'd swear Kobe was just showing us the same replay 3 times, because that is the 3rd time that we've seen that exact incident involving the 028 of Roberto. So not really sure what to say on that.
Yeah, it just seems like a whole bunch of repetition, but the problem is it's a repetition of mistakes, and quite frankly, mistakes that seem pretty easy to avoid. I know we are here at Phoenix. I know it's a very momentum-based track here. You gotta keep those revs up as high as you can in the corner, but, you know, just a little bit of restraint wouldn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, you are absolutely right on that, Mac. But boy, howdy, you're gonna have ourselves a green-white checkered here. And it's only 1 attempt at a green-white checkered. So the next flag will end proceedings here in the desert. And it looks like something that we missed in all the chaos is Chase Matsuka was able to get by Tankersley into P2. So now Brock Morris is going to have a new car to his outside.
Yeah, Matsuko, he has had his fair share of trials and tribulations here tonight, so he has had to work extra hard to get in the position he has now. And that's not to discredit Brock Morris or anything. He has just had the classic suffering from success arc where he has just been out in front and everybody kind of just forgets about him. But here comes Matsuko, and he is hungry to get this win after everything he's had to fight through.
Yeah, Chase Zilla gonna do everything he can to bring home the win. But Brock Morris is gonna do everything he can to defend the position he's had for what feels like the entire race. As here we go, the pace truck on pit road for the final time tonight. Brock Morris will lead us back to the restart zone. Green means go. We are back underway. 2 laps to go at Phoenix as a nightmare restart for Matsuko. It's going to allow Tankersley to get back up into P2. Meanwhile, this is exactly what Brock Morris has wanted to see. Oh, get in the back of it. It's a big one. Multiple cars involved, and that's going to do it. Oh, boy.
A lot of collateral there.
Yep, we just junked half the field, folks at home. See, real life restart, crazy, and a big send from the 37. He sent it and just put a little too much postage on it.
Just a little too much mustard on the sandwich. You see it, hey, it happens sometimes, but unfortunately, now 2 laps to go, green-white checkered situation. That was not the time to do it. That was not the time to be stingy on the mustard.
Yep. But that is going to do it. Surviving restart after restart. Brock Morris is going to bring it to the checker flag, and Brock Morris will win at Phoenix. What a race for the 05.
Yeah, incredible. Incredible. I mean, he showed dominance almost every single lap around here.
That he did. Came up just 1 spot short of the dub last week at Chicagoland. Makes good on it tonight. And he gets it done here in the desert. And burn it down, Brock. Eventually.
He earned it. Yeah, he earned it though, man. All good things take time, James. Like, you've got to let the artist cook for a second. Oh.
I think he's just going to go straight to parking it in victory lane.
Oh.
Oh, no. He's turning this part of the infield into his own stadium. You love it.
You love to see it. O'Reilly's might not love it, but...
Nah, that's just some extra ad time there.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a very good point, actually.
Alrighty, as Brock continues to celebrate, we're going to take our last break of the night, and we will be back with our top three.
There might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
Alrighty, we are back and we are ready to get started with our interviews, although it doesn't look like we have our runner-up of Zach Tankersley in the waiting room right now, so we'll go ahead and get started with Chase Matsuko being interviewed by Mr. Matt Nelson.
Yes, sir. Chase Matsuko, the number 26 driver. Tell me, man. It was crazy up here in the booth watching you. You had to go to work. A lot of cautions that you had to get around. You had to shuffle around. What was the frame of mind like going into that final, green-white checkered? I know you didn't ultimately get to finish the race, but, what was going through your mind at that moment?
Trying to stay in front of Zach. I knew he had a big advantage on me on the restart, which unfortunately got around me, but it is what it is. I should have had a better reaction time, but it'll still take a third from coming from the back with 2 minutes of damage from that first caution.
Yeah, I mean, you did a fantastic job. And now, as we get seated here, you know, we're a little bit of the ways into the season now here. So, answer me this, Chase: has the mindset changed any since the opener to now? If you had one message that you had to give week one, Chase, you know, what are you giving him now, and what do you think he'd say back to you to help you throughout the rest of the season here?
Just try to survive. I mean, I didn't expect this many cautions with this group of people. We're usually very clean, so you know, so I guess I had the wrong mindset going in. I was trying to race people pretty hard in the beginning, but now I was like, I'm just gonna stand back and bide my time, and I think it's working out.
Yeah, well, you had a fantastic night here tonight. We're going to let you celebrate, but before we do, is there anybody who you want to shout out or thank for tonight's?
All right, are we still on air? Classic Discord. Alrighty, we are back, and it's time to talk to the man of the hour, Brock Morris. Brock, James in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, I do. How you guys doing?
Oh, doing all right, but not as good as you. Heck of a run out there. You pretty well dominated this one.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I feel like every oval driver's got that one track that just really speaks to them, and I feel like for me, it's always been Phoenix. This is where I got my first league win. Now, about 2 years later, racked up another one. So yeah, I felt like wasn't the smoothest night all night with everything, but yeah, overall cannot complain. Got the pole and won. So yeah, great night tonight.
And how difficult is it trying to deal with a race where we're having a few cautions and just trying to make sure you nail the restarts and don't really tip your hand on what you're doing and when you're going to go to the competition?
Yeah, it definitely depends on especially the person you're trying to outgame there. For most of the race, it was Zach, which shout out to Zach. We've had a lot of great races in the past, and he was starting to catch on to what I was doing in the restart zone, so had to change it up a little bit on him. But overall, Phoenix is usually a good track where if you just have that track position and especially can get the restarts great over and over, it's usually pretty easy to hang on. So I'm probably the most confident in this track than any other for that type of situation.
And finally, I just gotta ask you, what was going through your mind when we got the green white checkered?
2025 Fall Phoenix with Denny Hamlin is exactly what was going through my mind. I was like, man, it's almost to a T exactly the same. But as much as I would have liked it to go green, I know at least in this reality, I ended up winning the race. So obviously cannot complain about that at all.
Yeah, it was an awesome run for you tonight. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout-outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Absolutely. The boys over at Resurrection Racing, my teammates for the season. I think we might be leading the team points now with tonight. We had a great points night. Shout out to Kettering University on the car, Kettering Esports, Juicy Spider Studios, the High Side Podcast, and then you guys up here in the booth and FMA for putting this whole deal on.
Alrighty, Brock, we appreciate you, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
I hope so as well, so I'll see you guys.
Alrighty, there is your race winner of Brock Morris, and with that, I believe that just about does it for us. Mac, what are your final thoughts on a wild night in the Wild West?
I think we had some avoidable incidents, but I think we also had a whole bunch of entertaining chaos. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what you're looking for here out of, a good sim racing league. There was a very, very good wheel-to-wheel action that happened. And through all the chaos, there was strategy, there was racecraft being shown on display. But I think next week at Charlotte, it's going to be even crazier, James. I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely. But with that, it's time for us to get the heck on out of here. For my broadcast partners, Mac Nelson and Kobe Jordan, I'm James Watson, bidding you adieu till next time. Good night, everyone.